Brett, hello.
How are you?
It's so good to see you.
Likewise. Thank you very much for having me in the building.
Of course. I feel like you've been everywhere recently. You were in Ottawa yesterday.
Yes.
How was that?
Well, Ottawa was terrific. I had a really good visit with our friends there. Also had a concert there, which was a lot of fun. It's great to mix both, when you're going to be doing promo for a record and also play a show. It's been a great season of life and a great chapter.
Oh, I love to hear that.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. And you're also Canada's good luck charm because you were at the game in Boston.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I will take it because in the playoffs for my Edmonton Oilers, being a big hometown guy, loving the Edmonton Oilers, my city turned against me and said I was the bad luck charm for the Edmonton Oilers because when I sang the anthem one time in the playoffs, they ended up losing that one game, and Twitter or X decided it was my fault. So the fact that you, Shannon, are saying that I'm the good luck charm for Team Canada, I will take it.
And your boy, Connor McDavid, made that goal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
McJesus, our Lord and Savior, as we call him at Edmonton, actually.
Yeah. I lived in Edmonton for 5 years. So I love it there. It's so
Do you mind if I ask what part of the city?
I moved all over, but mainly south and near White Ave.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great spot. And were you in media all at that time?
I was. Yeah. I
Very
moved out
cool.
there for a radio job. So I was there for 5 years. And
But
then
now you got the big upgrade to the big city.
Now here we
Yeah,
are. Pure
T.O.,
country.
You deserve to be here.
Thank you so much. Wow, you're so kind. How did it feel being at that game though? Like, because we saw it on TV and the energy of the whole country was buzzing, but to actually be there, how was that?
You can't put it into words. It was without a doubt the greatest sporting event I've ever been a part of. To be there, was so lucky to have tickets. Was so lucky to be sitting with, all the families of the players. So lucky to be at the after party, and like it was all about celebration. And I loved the most getting a chance to sit beside Boston and Toronto fans that are supposed to like clash, or Oilers and Flames fans, Oilers and Canucks fans. And yet we were all there for the greater good of the Canadian hockey community. And John Cooper, the coach, said it best. He said, Canada needed this win.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't believe that I was in attendance, throwing back beers and nursing a hangover the next morning.
Yeah, that's so incredible. I was so jealous when I saw that. That's so sweet. How was finding out that you are JUNO nominated once again?
Well, huge shock. And I'll tell you why. It's because the Compass Project has been nominated now 2 years in a row. Based on the 4 albums that were part of the project, I guess, based on what the eligibility period, is that it worked out to be a part of both.
You didn't plan that?
No.
Wow.
And I didn't think and also it was a unique record with the West album being so country. No singles were released off of it.
Mm.
So I kind of felt it was kind of like a Casey Musgraves kind of thing, where Casey is so unique and she is so talented, but sometimes she's not getting a song played on radio.
Mm.
So you wouldn't call it necessarily commercially successful, but you would say is like critically acclaimed or whatever. That was kind of like the Compass Project for me. And I knew that we weren't going to get this commercial success, and yet we're nominated for a JUNO. So I did not expect it at all.
That's so sweet. So it feels just as special as getting that first ever nomination?
You know what? I think it feels more special.
Yeah?
I think today in this version and chapter of my career and my life, I actually believe I'm happier, and I get more excited, and I bounce off the walls more now than I did when I was, 23, nominated for the first time.
Why is that?
Appreciation.
Yeah.
Appreciation and gratitude for being in this spot in my life and understanding how hard it is to get there. And you have to stop and smell the roses. And I didn't do that when I was in my 20s. I didn't at all.
Right. So you feel like you appreciate it all more now?
Yeah. I didn't wish the moments away, but I would experience something really cool. But I would get back to the hotel or call my team. They would celebrate on a Zoom call, or we would have a conference call or whatever. And I would literally be like, okay, but this is what I want to do next, which was really cool to have that driven sense. But I never stopped to smell the roses. And now it's all about, planting the garden, smelling the roses, and enjoying it.
How do you make that shift? Because I find that sometimes, like, if something great happens, I have that mindset where I'm like, okay, what's the next thing though? Or if I dwell on it too much, then I am like almost settling.
It's tough to answer, Shannon, but I think I would use just one word. Like, when you make that shift, it's because of life. Life happens. relationships end, people pass away, opportunities go away, and you don't know how long you have it until it's gone. You don't realize you're living in the good old days until you're outside of it, and you look back and say, that was amazing. So learning to soak in these things is very important. And another life lesson that I've learned recently has to do with going to watch that hockey game, in doing things now, doing things right now, doing them today. Don't delay. I've got a song about that. It says, like, you got to take that chance because you might not get another one.
Yeah.
Cody Johnson, till you can't. All of those things have really just like seeped into my genetic makeup in the last couple of years, and life happens and you learn to appreciate it more.
Nice. I love that. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Congratulations on this new album.
Thank you.
How did you approach this differently? Because obviously it's a full different thing than the Compass project.
Well, as we were just saying, life happened over the course of the last few years since releasing the Compass project, and I really wanted to peel back a bunch of layers. I guess, have my listeners and my fans take a peek behind the curtain to see a different side to me, a lot more depth, and it was time. Shannon, like, if you always do what you've always done, then you'll always get what you always got.
Right.
And I don't want to release the same record again. I don't want to release the same style of songs again. I do want to take a creative risk, and Let Your Horses Run, the album, takes a deep dive into the Western way of life and what makes that so cool, so amazing. And so it's a grittier album for sure.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Does that just come with life experiences then, or does it just come with looking at things in different perspectives?
Yeah, I'll have a different perspective in 3 years from now than I did now. But it captures a wonderful moment in time on my timeline. And I hope that everybody who takes a deep dive into this record can understand who I am a little bit more, understand what I believe in to my core a little bit more. And like in the olden days when people would listen, like we were talking about these CDs behind the camera, people would listen to an album from start to finish. When Garth Brooks would have a record come out or George Strait would have a record. I hope people do that with Let Your Horses Run.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will.
I hope they do.
It's a great record.
Thank you.
One of my favorite songs on it is Riches. How did that come about with Phil?
Well, I will acknowledge that that's my favorite song too.
Is it?
And it means the world that you brought that song up in particular. Phil is my favorite songwriter. He's one of my favorite entertainers. He's written all of my favorite songs. And so when I got the opportunity to write with him, well, first I didn't want to blow it, because I'm the rookie in the room. He's the legend in the room. And so he brought a friend of his named Brett Shiraki. So 2 Bretts and a Phil. We sat in Phil's amazing house and we talked about story songs. We talked about the impact and how country music really only tells story songs. It's the last genre to do it. And so I had a title called That's Wealth. My grandpa used to say it all the time. He would sit at the kitchen table, he'd look at all of his grandkids sitting around him at Christmas, and he'd look at my cousins who were doing very well in the oil business and say, you guys think you're rich because you're driving in a big Ford F-350 and you got millions of dollars in the banks? Well, BS. That's wealth. And he'd point to all of us grandkids. I wanted to write a song about that. And then Phil, the mastermind, he said, well, let's tell this story. Let's bring it in this way. We changed the title to Rich Is. And I don't know if I've ever been more proud of a song than that one.
Really? What is it about just the message of it that makes you feel that way?
It's the message. It's how we crafted the story. And I think that it's relatable to anybody regardless of your age. Where some songs only work for a demographic for people who are older and more mature. Some songs only work for a demographic that's going to Boots and Hearts. They're 19 years old and they're ready to party, with a legitimate ID for the first time. Well, Rich is something that if you actually take 3 minutes to listen to it and soak in these lyrics, I think it's going to get you in the feels.
Totally. Speaking of family, I know we're in February and it's weird to bring up Halloween, but I'm obsessed with the fact that you and your family do like group Halloween costumes.
Oh yeah, we've done it all the time.
Yeah. Do you already have a plan going into the year, like what you're going to be, or does that come closer to Halloween?
Well, it all depends because what the kids want to do today might not be what they want to do in October.
Right.
But I like my two little boys have like great blonde flowing hair. I'm growing a mullet just kind of like them with the curls. And so I want Leo to be Alan Jackson, and I want him to wear the Chattahoochee white hat and life jacket from the video of 1994. I want Atlas to be, and I said, like, let's all do country music. I asked, hope Atlas can be like Tracy Lawrence or something like that. Mila wants to be Jody Messina and put on a red wig and have those glasses and a jean jacket. And Aria wants to be like super classic country, maybe be like Loretta Lynn or something like that. So we might be all country.
I love that. That's so sweet. I feel like you guys should do that. So, and now you have time to plan it and get
time
the
to plan and prep. Yeah, maybe Leo's gonna have to start growing his mustache. He wants to. He borrowed Cecilia's eyebrow pencil, or whatever from her makeup kit and stuff like that, and started drawing a mustache.
That's sweet.
He just wants to be just like me.
I was gonna say he wants to look like Dad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. What can you tell me about Freddie and Sheila?
Well, what do you want to know? Like, they're heroes of mine. Never in my life did I think that you'd bring up two of my heroes.
Sheila. Tell me about them, your mentors.
Well, Freddie Pelche is one of the greatest guitar players in Canada in the history of our genre. He played with Ian Tyson. If you remember Buck Owens and the Buckaroos, he and Don Rich were incredible friends. Freddie is an amazing guitar player from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. His wife, Sheila, they've been married for 25, 30 years, is an outstanding singer. And on the Side You've Never Seen tour that we've been on, I really wanted to pay tribute to a lot of my heroes and my friends. So I would call up my friends and say, hey, can you join me on stage for a song or two? And Freddie is, it's got to be 70, maybe 75 now. And he's picking just as good as ever. So I was nervous as a little kid. He taught me guitar. He taught me guitar. He's my guitar hero. Every little solo, every inflection that I play is thanks to Freddie. And Sheila taught me truly how to sing harmony, how to sing on key, how to not suck. So Freddie and Sheila get significant credit. Thank you for bringing them up.
Of course. How was it then performing with them? Is that just as nerve-wracking all these years later?
There were elements of nerves for sure, but there's also, I'll be honest, a few elements of awkwardness because I had them on a pedestal all my life. And now it's not that the tables have turned. I don't want to be on a pedestal in any way, shape, or form, but the two of them couldn't stop talking about how my career has gone. And I just wanted to reminisce about the old days, and they just wanted to talk about where I'm at today. So it was a very interesting dynamic to navigate a conversation because I hadn't seen them in years. So it's just an interesting thing to navigate. It's probably similar to somebody who's made it to the NHL and just wants to talk to their coach about their old days in minor hockey.
Yeah, totally. Wow, that's so great. Well, congratulations on this album. It's such a fantastic piece of work.
Thank you, Shannon.
And yeah, congrats on everything.
That means the world to me. Thank you for saying that.
Of course.